Hello and happy Friday afternoon. It is time, once again, gonna adjustments for Sentinels Steam Workshop development. I'm John at Handelabra Games, and I'm happy to program for your amusement. I mean, I'm gonna be working anyways. You may as well watch, right? And feel free to ask questions in the chat. Last week's chat was very quiet. I would like to have more chat activity if possible, so feel free to say hello and ask some questions. Last time we finished up a bunch of stuff and shipped it out in an update. Since then, there's been a few things. Lou Dolphin has a question. How dare? I dare. I played Oblivion with the Cauldron on Tuesday and found a couple of bugs, so I fixed those up. The credits now will show the right information. Fix some other bugs. Improve the update thing. I talked about, I think last week I actually had done the updating, which is requiring a restart, but now I made it so it won't require a restart. Unless somehow you need an update in a multiplayer room, it would then require a restart because the DLLs have loaded already, but basically, we can't unload DLLs in the Unity context. So what we're doing now is, first thing, check for workshop item updates without loading the DLLs, show the update screen if needed, and then actually load the DLLs after updating. Or if you say, I don't want to update, then that will be fine too. I guess what you could do is you say, I don't want to update, you go to join a multiplayer game, and you have to update, and then that would make you restart. So that restart logic is all still in there because that could still happen in that case, I guess. And fix some buttons not working. And yeah, so I'm back to the skyscraper stuff. I had some ideas about the custom font sprites, so if we have time, look into that today too. So various things going on. But yeah, skyscraper. We added some basic support for this, but there's still some stuff in the engine that wasn't going to work right. That was specifically handling extremist skyscraper only. So I've been working on this code just here the last few minutes, and I'll show you what I changed here. I think this will show me. Yeah, so before it said if it's extremist skyscraper, basically if this is the tiny or huge skyscraper extremist card, we need to load the normal card. And I think this is because they can swap as part of the promo. I wonder if we should just load the normal, like right now it's not doing it. It's only doing it if it's a promo, and if it's not a promo, I think that's because regular skyscraper doesn't change cards with her power, but other one does. What I'm thinking of is instead of requiring it to be a promo, like this could also work for any character card swapping heroes that yeah. And actually, this is working this way because she swaps to normal. It doesn't actually load the other ones, only the normal one, right? Like, that's what this is about. There's, I think, special tests for skyscraper. That's skyscraper tiny, extremist skyscraper. Huge. And she switches sizes. Right. So in general, we might want to say support, like right now this is only working on the promo and only on the non-normal one, because if you look at skyscraper's extremist cards, they say the huge one says switch to normal, the tiny one says switch to normal, the normal one doesn't switch. which is why it's doing it that way, I think. So will this work with other things that don't just switch to normal? Do I talk to myself when I'm programming offline? A little bit. Not a lot, though. Internal dialogue. I don't vocalize it generally. Then there's this logic also has to do with removing all the other cards as well. And it assumes there's just one. You talk a lot? Yeah, so I think what this actually should do is load all of the cards, not just the normal card. Right? Because, well, supporting Skyscraper is one thing, but maybe you have a Skyscraper variant that switches between tiny and huge directly, right? And not back to normal. This is about the swapping. So I think we want to load all the other cards. I think. So I added this idea of a main card identifier. But instead of that, I think we set them all up. So I think I might back out that idea of a main card. I mean, we might not back it out, but I think we need to use this, and we don't actually check if it's a promo card. We don't care. It could be so basically this get all card definitions. Yeah. I think gets promos. Yeah. But it doesn't check. This doesn't look for mod. We'll still keep that in a to-do. Just getting a message here. Okay. You should download more RAM. I agree. So yeah, I think here actually we want to find other card defs. Get all card definitions. I guess it's except this one, right? Where it's different and it's a shared identifier. Other card def in other card defs. So for each one, we want to do this. Create the other card in case we can swap to it. And put it off to the side. So Skyscraper can do this, but maybe other mod heroes could do this, right? Or other variants of Skyscraper would do something differently. So that's this logic. Right, so this, we don't care about normal card. We'll call this other card. Is a new card belonging to the environment turn taker. We add it to the off to the side. Oh, this is the right. Other card controller is make a instance, and yeah, we override the namespace. So it, instead of creating it out of the Celestial Tribunal, it creates it out of the original identifier, and then we add the card controller. Okay, and then this is basically record a journal entry so we can clean it up properly later. I believe, right? That's what this is about. Whoops. And this is like property info, really. And so we give it, this is the owner, which is Celestial Tribunal. This is the qualified promo identifier of the card. And then we, yeah, because we're overriding the turn taker of it. And then we also set the max HP of it, which is part of the Representative Earth rule. And then this is basically now this loop is going to do it. And it's actually going to make more cards than we had before for Skyscraper. So I think our tests might fail because we're creating too much. But let's see. Might just leave some garbage around, basically. Select from box does not allow identifier Skyscraper tiny. That's... Oh, I think that's because of the garbage. So here we need to do the cleanup. So if the card is supports swapping, e.g. Skyscraper, shared cards as well. So if next to dot shared identifier is available, remove all the other ones. I mean, we just do it all here, right? We just call move cards with all of the cards that have the shared. We don't need a special logic for this. Just call move cards. Bulk move cards. Yeah. Bulk move cards. Including, yeah, we'll just make this. Yeah, and the cards. I guess there was one thing someone reported about cards being next to Representative Earth not working right. So we could actually fix that by saying, I mean, everything's looking at the top card, but we could record something or just look for a character card with 10 max HP, I guess. Basically, this dot card dot next to location dot cards c dot is character card or is hero character card, and I mean that should do it, right? There should never be other hero character cards next to this card. This dot turn taker dot next to, all right, off to the side. Just like all the cards next to it, like there shouldn't be other ones. Card property, yeah, might be good, but this is a little easier right now, and it right now if we looked for a card property, it wouldn't work with older save games, right? Move these cards to in the box, and I think that's it. Then we don't need any of this. We'll probably change some other spots, but that seems like it should probably do it. Let's run this test again. Now that this should clean up the cards that shouldn't be there anymore, which is why we couldn't pick Tiny because it was still in the game. Yep, and that passed. This test runs it with all the characters. Okay, so let's make some adjustments about the next two. So here it's assuming that the top card in the next to location is the right one. So instead of that, we want to say next to location dot cards dot first or default is hero character card. If the representative gets switched out, yeah, again, basically, maybe we add a little helper method here, which is And it could be null. Then we don't have to repeat that everywhere, and if we change it, we can change it. Here, I guess this is one of them calls card without replacements. So maybe we want to basically, then we just go discard. All right, so then normally you want to use this dot card, but I guess completion as guys is weird, so we can do this, pass true, and do this. Right, because guys is doing guys things. Do I miss a? Yeah. This one. Card without replacements as well. Game over. So we aren't calling top card anymore. And we're not accessing next to except there. And when we're playing it and when we're putting it back in the box. So cool. All right, so those changes should be good. Let's run all the tests. All right, I think we're happy with that. Cool. So basically what that does is supports representative Earth for any multiple character cards that use shared identifier, basically. So let's see if, I think it makes sense to commit that bit, which this was me adding a new property that I don't know that we need yet, but this change is localized specifically to representative of Earth. So I'm going to commit this, which is represent of Earth. Yeah, I'm going to be testing. I need to add the mod promos of Skyscraper. That's what the sort of initial premise of this is. So yeah, potentially Titan. Or other, I mean, the main thing this is for is if they swap their cards with their power, basically. So, representative of Earth supports any, or I guess, add support for any heroes with shared identifiers to fix problem with other cards that could go next to. I think there's something in the cauldron that does that, right? That was causing issues. So it should fix that other problem where there's some other non-character card that goes next to representative Earth. Okay, so we still want to support mod promos here. So basically, if the model card is promo content, is promo card, and basically this. Because if it's a mod, the owner deck definition is still going to be correct. It's only when it's a promo that comes from a mod for, either official content or a different mod. So we want to look up mod helper, right? We can get shared promo definitions. Yeah. So other card deaths. Mod helper. I guess maybe we'll make a variable here. Var mod promos depths. Shared promo definitions for, I guess, card def. Does this return? Yeah, this also includes that card. I guess like all this could just be in a loop too, instead of being like special handling, but that's all right. Maybe we'll go back and tidy that up after, because all this stuff seems. Yeah, we have this too, right? Special override namespace. I feel like this should just be a loop. Where we choose the one. Maybe, because we're like we're doing the same thing, basically. It's not quite the same, is it? But it's very similar. So here we just have to say accept. Or I guess it's dot where, isn't it? It's not accept. It's this. Just like where. It's not the exact same card. And then other card defs. Add it in. And then I think we need to do the same thing where. Do we? Maybe we don't. Because we're using. This is the override namespace, right? Yeah. Oh no. We're not putting that in. We're not changing the property. So I think that might be okay. Well, maybe not. No, it's here, yeah. Yeah, the override namespace actually needs to be different. So it's kind of this, right? So here, basically, this is a namespace we're normally using. And override namespace. This is complicated stuff. Is this still correct? Here in this context, Right, card def is that definition, so here we want this, I think. So, I mean, they should be the same, right? They should be the same. So I think that is fine. We'll just have to test it out. Let's just make sure we didn't break anything doing that. Okay. All right, so in theory that should work, but we don't know that it works, do we? We can make a test in our sample mod, I think, and make sure that works. Maybe we'll just borrow the code of one of these. So let's go to make a new instance and open our sample mod up. My mod. All right, so our skyscraper variant. Let's just copy this test and add representative of Earth. The Celestial Tribunal. And yeah, so actually we don't want skyscraper to be in the game. Where's our other thing? Okay. So we're going to say we want to select from the box. Let's just like copy this for a second and make sure that all still works. And I think my references are going to my local version. Yeah, not to Steam, so I'm getting my updates. Oh, and I think I need to build this version. Not the debug Mac version, I should just change that. All right, so that works. We want to actually choose workshopping dot centrist huge, right? And it all should still work. This doesn't need to be assert is true. It can assert is instance of type of centrist workshopping dot skyscraper dot centrist skyscraper huge, and make sure that's right. Cool. And this is also probably, it's checking to see if we can switch sizes, but we can check to see that the other sizes are there. Make sure the other sizes loaded too. Insert number, right? Is there a number of cards at location? And that off to the side. Should be 2. Yep. Cool. And I guess we could just double check. Get card. We can do this. Just to be double sure. Oh, interesting. Oh, no. My test is wrong. Yay. Cool. And just check the normals as well. And now we're not like, nothing is like caring about whether you're loading the normal, it's just loading all of them that have the shared identifier. Cool. So that is working here in my mod, so I'm happy about that. So this is this change, and it looks for the mod promo, yeah. And we can't try save and load test here because on my Mac here, but we can try that in the UI and make sure that's working potentially. Cool. So support mod promos with representative of Earth. I guess mod promos of swappable character heroes. Sure. So this other thing I made here isn't maybe necessary. I added this main identifier thing. I'm just going to stash it for now. Let's build the engine here and just make sure this works in the UI, I think. And then we should be able to go and apply the same basic idea to completionist guys. Okay. So I think I have to take my DLL, projects, my mod, bin, debug, that, and update it. Settings UI, mods, put the mod back. And in there. I have it loading Steam right now, but it should be okay. We go into this, we have our variant. Oh wow, there's like, what? It's loading many copies. Are we in a... This might be related to the update check that I made. Something is... going wrong. Is this because I'm just gonna disable Steam here? Still, it's doing like 5 versions of each one. What is going on there? They don't think that I changed anything that should have made that start happening. Mysterious. If I go... Yeah, I don't... Actually, well, I have the decks turned off here. Yeah. Maybe there's that issue was happening in there I never realized. I'll have to go and look at that. That might be in the current version I didn't know about. Let's make a game setup then with the Celestial Tribunal. We're loading our mod there. Stacked cards. Representative of Earth. Skip to Celestial Tribunal. Not code-based setup. And do that. All right, so if we choose... Oh, right. If we go like this, we don't have... It doesn't know about the DLC, so we have to like kind of go back and then go to the main menu so it can load the DLC. For that, that is a thing that I could probably fix, but... I have not. Okay. And now we can pick Skyscraper. Oh, interesting. We can't... It's not letting us pick the other cards. I'm just going to add a note. Choosing any of the sizes from the box. I can still choose it. Still add visual glitch. It's fine. And the main thing I want to know is, can I load the game and will it be there? So let's click continue. Oh. What? Okay, let's go a little further than it should. That's weird. It didn't save the game. Did it have an error saving the game, I guess? Is that what happened? We click that. Like it should be saving. End of turn. I guess I can just click rewind here. That's weird that it... I guess, yeah, I'll just go rewind. It's weird that it didn't save the game properly, but... Rewind to play a card. Failed to load the game. That's what happened. So, and it wound back. Okay. We're getting a null reference from low definition overriding turn taker. This, get an exception at looking for qualified promo identifier or identifier. That should never null reference. Here. Why could this null reference? I mean, the card could be... Yeah, actually, no. This is on card, and that's on card definition. So where are we... yeah, this is the out-of-box thing, so I wonder if that's where it's happening. Or if it's... No, we were going to log an error and we crashed because of logging the error. Yeah, because is the definition null? Yeah, that would be why. Yeah, that doesn't work, does it? I think we need... just to be using this. Because the definition was null, so this is can't be referencing the thing that calls the definition. So something's wrong with that property setting, I think, is what's happening here, basically. But we can try this again. Oh. Did we do a merge? Oh, I guess, yeah. Guess Jean-Marc had committed some stuff. Okay. I think we're okay. I just want to check that this makes sense. Yeah, what was happening, it failed to load the game, and so it just goes back to it tries to load an undo file until it finds one that works, is what happens in that case. So we get this. And go back. Yes, this is the actual thing it's trying to log. No definition found for workshopping.centrist skyscraper tiny character. I think it might be that this doesn't know about the shared card, so it's trying to like load the tiny, and it can't. And I think the mod stuff doesn't maybe know about that, because in our promo card list, I guess they're all here. So what is it doing? Can we go back to Unity and look at? I guess we don't have that log, but so we get the string, and it's finding the card. We're getting the error, right? So we're getting workshopping.centrist skyscraper tiny character as the card identifier. And we get the definitions, which this thing is the one that looks for the mods. And yeah, I don't know why we're not getting logs. I would like to know more about what's going on. Let's just update this so we know what's happening in here and we can at least think about it. Make sure these make sense. They should make sense, but we'll just do this. So when in game view, if I can just say to continue game. I don't know that this will do the rollback. Yeah, I mean it does. Oh, so the turn taker coming in is Social Tribunal. I think that's... Yeah, that's not right. And actually we are seeing the logs here where we're looking for skyscraper, then we're looking for... So the turn taker name is wrong. So that's something probably due to the adjustment I made in here. think we want to add this. Yeah. Should it be that? It's working in all the tests. The owner is Celestial Tribunal. Not Skyscraper, so that's right, but... Yeah, because we're overriding the turn. Like, that's the point of this. So how is it working when we load it? This is getting Celestial Tribunals. Yeah, the main card does say Skyscraper though, right? Like if we look back at the log. That has Skyscraper and the other ones have Celestial Tribunal, so I think actually they need to say this needs to be parent deck instead. Yeah, because this is selected turn taker empire. That's not Celestial Tribunal. So this actually needs to be that way. Does that work then? I'm just not sure how the unit tests worked. Still seems okay. I mean, the unit tests, I don't have the unit tests doing the save and load, so it's possible that those aren't working for me. So let's try that. Maybe let's actually say play Call to Judgment so we can use the power and do some tests based on that too, right? So, and yeah, again, I need to go back to the main menu. Choose Skyscraper, Centrist. Alright, so now I should be able to continue the game from game view. It's a little awkward, isn't it? And oh, did I do it wrong? Let's type in the main menu again. Call to Judgment, Representative, Centrist, sure, Visionary, use the power. All right, so then we can, if we rewind here, we should be able to load the game and see that things hopefully work. They did. Okay. So actually, I don't want. It's not called a judgment I want, right? It's character witness. Is it? No. I want that hero to use their own power. So I need like dynamic siphon or whatever. But that did seem to work. I think it has to be dynamic siphon for it to do it, right? Like there's probably... What do these extremist tests do? Oh, right. Greatest legacy. Okay, so let's go and set up this a different way. Oh yeah, skyscraper's in the game already, which is not what I want anyways. The Wraith, and I want to put in the Wraith, Rook City Wraith character, and be on the Wraith's turn, and greatest legacy, but we want Representative Earth to be on top. And then we can control this a little bit. I just want to make sure that things still work right with extremist skyscraper. And right, we have to go to game view. You know what, maybe we can fix this problem where it's not letting us pick from the box. So if we use Wraith's power, put it in play. It's annoying that we can't pick everything here. And where would I fix that? If I open Sentinels. And game UI game view. From box decision. Here, right? There's like the callback, right? Which is like inbox, get hero cards inbox, where we're checking to see, do you have the DLC and whatever. Yeah, so basically let me have all of them. What is this variable used for? Expansions. All hero identifiers? No, all. Game constants dot available heroes, isn't there? Deck definition, right? Available heroes. Yeah. This is just gonna be easier. Maybe clean it up a little bit, but so skip that and put this into play. Now we can, oh, it still is limiting us. There's no more DLC check here. So why can't I pick it? All heroes that, allowed heroes that. Those are all allowed. For each, we're just skipping a cache 3 here, so why? It wasn't allowed heroes, right? Yeah, that's the same list. Get the deck definition. Oh, right, because there's no product data model. That's the reason. Deck definition dot expansion identifiers. Where's that? Is there a list of? The problem is that there's DLC helpers not instantiated when we press play here. I guess we could fix that by putting it in this scene. Is there a list somewhere that I can just access? Or we can just say basically blah. And we don't need to worry about this. So I think that expansions is only used in that one spot. Oh, and also this doesn't make any sense. I'm copy and pasting in my own problems here. Hey, look. All right, I'm just going to make this a little simpler, which is, like, this is all, will this work? basically what we can just do is this. Move this condition here. Right? Just, and then we can comment that out when we want, just one line. I might have to put one of those things back in. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so basically, just allow. This here is like checking against something else. So like, yeah, whatever. That'll do and is less changes. So let's pick skyscraper. Yeah, we're not getting, that's still a thing, we're not getting that option. Let's pick tiny, which should switch, and that should work. Maybe we'll fix this visual glitch too. It's annoying. So then we'll use tiny power. Do 1 damage, sure. Switch. And that's gone to normal. And if we rewind, bunker play a card, still normal, rewind to legacies of power, tiny. Okay, so that's all working. Just make sure our centrist one loads. It doesn't have a code that switches. We could make it switch, I guess. We could change it so it switches to test this. In play. Skyscraper. And then if I rewind, we're okay. Cool. All right, so I think that was the fix in the engine. Fix property storage, unrepresentative birth. All right, so I'm going to take a quick break, and I think I want to add switching to that card just to double check that works, and we'll fix that Z order issue too. So let me get back to OBS for my BRB, and I'll BRB. officially back. All right, so yeah, there's also the thing. Actually, before I do the switching thing, I think I want to fix the size not showing up here. So what is causing that? Let's get to the point where that's coming up here. Okay, so when this looks for what's in the box, maybe we'll just go continue game from here. So we have lots of logging here. Checking skyscraper. Right, so for the Sentinels, it's showing all of them. Oh, the skyscraper's going to be above that, right? Oh, I guess not. All right. In the box, checking skyscraper, normal character. Extremist, normal character. Extremist, huge character. Centrist, normal character. Right, I think that's because in the manifest, it only lists... Where's our manifest? It only lists the normal one. I think. So let's see. So we needed to have it pull up the other ones for this situation. Do I have two of this open now? Of course I do. Yeah, get available variant definitions for deck. I wonder if this and this just like... Yeah, like this is based on the manifest, right? Yeah. But there's also mod helper. We can get any shared promo definitions that come with. So let's do that. Also include shared promo cards not listed in the manifest. So what we can do is do this and then add them on. Mod helper shared if add them on. I don't know if they'll come in an order that makes sense, but we can always sort them at the end. So let's go back to the game. Try that. Change. I think we saved. And we can continue the game. That's fine. And if we choose skyscraper, hey, we get the other ones. Wait, they both say, it just says normal. There's two normals. That's not right. Oh, right. Dot where? We don't want the main card, we want the other ones. Oh, there's only one. Still seeing only one. We are checking now the tiny and huge. And we're saying it's in the box, but then it doesn't show up later. Possible definitions. This spot is probably not. This probably also needs to do it, right? Yeah, there's another spot where we need to do that. You know what? I think what we'll do is have this take a parameter. Bool include shared definitions. And then we'll just do this. And pass true. So if include shared definitions. So for each of the original ones, we find the shared identifiers and add them to the final result. And then in the later place, yeah. Is this, oh, is that not a different, is that a different method? Where did we go? Mod manager. Is that not where we just were? No, it isn't. Is this not, what? It seems like the same spot. Oh, it's just in a different, yeah, it's in a different file. Include shared definitions, true. That should do the trick. All right, there's our extra normal, tiny, huge. Okay, so I'm going to commit that, I think. And maybe... Yeah. Let's just comment out our little testing. So this, and this, and this. Allow to include shared promo definitions as well. Okay. Okay. So that is that. Choosing the size from the box. And I'm thinking of, yeah, two of these open. I guess Unity wants to be that one. Let's go to this one and put this one as my mod. And make the normal one switch sizes just to be different. Draw 3 cards. And what does skyscraper deck list? How does she have that written? Like that. I guess it says switch to your huge character card. So I guess let's open the engine and grab the code for switching. What do her cards look like? She has these switch to the card specified. So yeah, so what does like skyscraper extreme huge do? Remember to check if it's under completionist, guys. Awesome. That's and Tiny probably has the same thing. This seems less. I don't know. So switch to huge. So switch to huge. And we're just going to literally call this method right. So if someone else is using the power, then they won't have a shared identifier. And we can also make sure that the normal card is around. formatting. All right, so then in our test, let's update our test to and goes huge. So we don't need to play throughout the monolith, do we? All right, let's try that. And we'll try it in UI. Cool. And just to look in the log here. She drew 3 cards and switches to huge and used the power and blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's update our DLL file. And try it. And I think we're done with Representative Earth if this works. Fingers crossed. So actually we need to go back to Wraith's turn. Well, maybe not done. We'll fix the Z order thing that's been here for a while. Oh, and I commented out my thing that lets me do that. Allowed. I am allowed. It only affects the editor, so if it gets committed, it's not the end of the world. All right, skyscraper. Our normal power says that, so let's do that. And let's have Legacy have her use it. Use that power. Null reference exception. What's the exception? What would it be? I don't have a stack trace exactly. Oh, that's wrong. I want to go to my mod. Oh, character card. This dot card? Yeah, not character card. That's probably it. Character card will be null. I don't think I actually have to copy it over because this is going to that location, right? We'll see anyway. Yeah, switched. Switched to huge. All right. I like it. Okay, so that's just that. Let's push this up. Sentinels engine, there's no more changes. Our mod added this. Oops, sorry. Update skyscraper variant to have a switching effect in one power. Sure. Okay, so I think that covers that, and also back on assumptions, that tidies up all the assumptions, I think, on representative of Earth. Let me take a look at, do we still have the engine code open? How long was I muted for, too? That seems mysterious. I'm gonna have to review the video because I might have been muted too. I don't remember. Oh, you know what? If I press this button, that button is not supposed to do that. OBS is not supposed to be watching that key. That's when it happened. Hang on. Hotkeys. I have to change my... It shouldn't be... Like, basically I have it to, like, key off of the function keys, but they shouldn't be keying off when we're using the special effect of the keys. Any other key input is fine except for function keys. All right, I need to change those because that seems like that just started happening, but maybe it has always happened and I've not noticed. All right, so I'm just gonna remove the hotkey or change the hotkey. What if I change it to option 2, option 1, and option 3. I guess that's option 3. And the main scene is option 2. And option 2. All right, we're gonna go with that. Sorry, it was like muting and going to the outro when I was doing this. And I totally didn't notice for a long time. But I feel like that wasn't always happening. Maybe it was. Maybe I just never did it. But it shouldn't happen anymore. I don't know that I can use my hotkeys outside of OBS now, but that's fine. Yeah. They're only inside OBS. That's totally fine. All right. And I should fix that on my other settings too, but for now. All right, so streaming technical difficulties resolved. That's weird that it was responding to that hotkey outside of OBS, but it wouldn't respond to it the other ones outside of OBS. I don't understand. I don't understand, but here I am. Okay. I'm getting this no source selected also that I'm bothered by, but it all seems to be fine. So we'll just roll with that. So font icons, blah, blah, blah. So I was talking about this for a while, but you couldn't hear me, I guess, for maybe like half an hour. Unfortunately, and it was not even recorded because of reasons. So that's annoying. let's look at this. So basically, yeah, loading fonts and updating fonts at runtime is kind of what I want to look at. So let's look at this UI font. And if we go to mod manager or mod, just refresh my memory on how we were creating the atlas. Right, we have a prefab. Right, so if it's a game object, we look for a sprite atlas. And we have a prefab where we instantiate it. And is that just like an empty atlas then? It's been a while. Mod manager, let's go. Where's that? In the splash screen? This. Yeah, it's just a blank atlas. So what I could do is instantiate a copy of the font. So in mod manager, card, full card, body font. Just hook this up and see if we can mess around with it. Fonts, full card body, save. Let's just throw some code in here. This dot full card body font. Like we can set the atlas to something else, right? Emoticons, symbols, add symbol, add new symbol to the font. With some string and some sprite name. Okay. Let's just see if we can do the smiley face thing at runtime here. This is in full card, true color, HP violator. I think with a capital V. Yeah. Okay, so if we do that and get a card to come up and put the smiley face. So multiverse, anything, card, anything. Hey, all right. So we did that at runtime. So what I want to do is basically when your mod goes to show one of its cards. Look and see if you have a custom font, and if so, set it up and then like cache it or whatever, right? So we can do that without even loading anything just now by yeah, so this is loaded atlases, and loaded atlases is keyed on what? Namespace dash path. Right, where it could be like an icon atlas, or whatever, right? Like icon 0, game setup 0, or whatever. So we can actually just make a similar thing, which is for fonts, I think. Do a similar kind of thing. Basically, we would need to make load the atlas and then set the font to point at the atlas. So where will we do this from? I guess in UI card view factory, or the UI card, wherever it's yeah, there's all these card body areas and stuff, these places that need to like have their font label changed. Actually right here, it's like we could potentially pass in a new font instead, or when we're setting this up, we could assign a different font. There's actually several places. Like card views are not all the same. If we go into here, we have like a hero character card has this label that has, this label is full card body, the heading label is full card keywords, power label is full card body. The only thing we really covered is the main label. So I guess we could have some property here that says this one should get replaced by a mod or something. Then, you know, here there's the flavor text, there's that, and then villain character cards have a lot more actually. They've got, I mean, it's all sort of copies of the same thing, but like they get instantiated. These ones get instantiated dynamically. I don't know if the full card ones do. It's been a while. Yeah, like under card pieces, these are the different text boxes. Full character card, hero, full Let's like pull up a full card hero here. Yeah, so its card body area is just here, and we instantiate for the card body, we instantiate a thing. I guess someone might want keywords to have icons too, right? Because the NEAD have that. That's another font, I think. Full card keywords and small card keywords. Yeah. And titles, I guess, but let's not. Interesting. So yeah, there's a few areas where that's going to be wanted. I think the card body is like the main thing, so it makes sense to be the thing to start with. And this probably links to the prefab that does it, or is that, yeah, maybe it doesn't actually. The card body area doesn't actually link to the prefab that it wants to use. That might be in card prefabs. Yeah, card body box prefab. And that has the labels that get put in there. It's interesting, this card body area does mention a font, but it isn't necessarily used. I guess, yeah, if it's null, maybe it's used for some things to override fonts or whatever. I haven't looked at this stuff for a long time. Just trying to think about the best way, or where's the best place to interject here and say, oh wait, actually use this font that we're going to load from a mod. And I think it's probably going to vary for different things, is the tricky part. So when we create a card, where do we set up the text? In full card. We call update keywords. And at some point we update the text. Yeah, here. Create card body. Basically, at some point we need to be able to say, this is a mod card. Let's find out if the mod has a font replacement, and if so, use it. So this is a normal card body. If it's a battle zone card, we do this. We set up card body item. So this is a normal card body. This is for a normal card. I mean, any card goes into this. We instantiate the prefab. We add it in. And we basically set the text and stuff. So I think here is where we see, is the card mod content. This is where, I mean, for this, literally just for the card body text is the place where we would intervene. this add item. Yeah, this ends up applying. This ends up overriding fonts, actually. I don't know where and when that happens, but I don't think that'll happen in regular card views, so this would be a safe place to do it for regular cards. It's the card body area. There's a null check here. Is it always... specified? I don't know why. I mean, null check, fine for safety, but yeah, I think what we could do is override the card body area's font, and then it assigns the font in here. Potentially. I guess we can look at the different ones and see which ones have fonts. Oh, I guess no, it's the area, right? It's not the, so we need to pull in like full character card. As card body area doesn't specify a font. I wonder if it's due to like special versions of cards. Like the title deck or something. I don't know. These normal cards don't seem to override anything on their body areas. This one, reward cards don't. Objective cards? Don't think so. Nope. Unless that gets set somewhere else. Just gets used. So yeah, I'm not sure where that is getting used. Okay, so I think we found the spot where we want to do that stuff. And actually, I think it's not even down in the lower part. It's in this part, create card body. Is where we're going to update the font instead of in the setup card body item, because as long as we set the font on this, it'll apply them to all the sub items. So we can even put it up here, basically. If the card is from mod content and there's a font provided by the mod, use that. So like we'd ask the mod manager to get if there's a font, basically. And then it'd be like card body area dot font. And maybe like if this is not null, even if it is, yeah, I think it's probably fine. We can like see, we could see, check if it's null and then go from there or whatever. Maybe. Okay. So I guess what we can do is say mod manager. Just do this for now, right? And we can, and instead of the smiley face, do we get rid of our smiley face? Yeah. This dot label font, add symbol, like start or card. Just to see that this is gonna, we're just gonna use that, but we can, I mean, that's not actually gonna do anything because it's pointing to the same thing. Instantiate. Here. This should mean that it should only affect mod cards to do that. So if I go, well, let's look at the mod manager here, right? Oh, none. Can I do this? Just want to make a copy of it. None. I do have errors. What's the errors? Is that, no, that's just. Like when we make our atlas. Yeah, okay, maybe we need to give it a parent. Maybe it's getting lost. Okay, that worked. And we have our, we have the happy face already. Where'd the happy face go? Did I put that somewhere else? Maybe it's yeah, I still have the happy face in there. Get rid of that. So I make a copy of it. So if we go to the multiverse and look at a card that says start, that's fine. But if we go to workshop, does anything have a start of turn? I don't know. Yep, at the start, at the explosion of the game. Okay. That's good. So that means we can make a copy of that font and add symbols to it, so we can also change the atlas that it's pointing to. So we're definitely making progress here. obviously we're just like pointing to that. What we need to do is have a method that is like get font or whatever. So like get card, full card, body font, and pass like the mod namespace. And basically look and see if this mod has a custom font. And otherwise we just return null. So over here, yeah, so here instance get font card dot space namespace, yeah. Yeah, and I guess if font is not null, otherwise we'll leave it alone. Okay. That's probably all we need to do here. So that when the bork is back in the mod manager. So I'm gonna first make yeah, I want this to be UI fonts, right? Because the atlases are actually separate. And the key can be namespace dash font name or whatever. So the key is going to be we can name this after like full card body. And we'll probably refactor this out into a different method for a different, so we can support many fonts or whatever. So if loaded fonts and we'll put null into it if you don't have, if there isn't one, basically. To actually what we can do is try get value. And actually we want to just say if we don't have one, try to load one. And then we can just return result. So yeah, in order to load one, we need to let's make a variable font name. If you have a file, an atlas named that, basically, right? And I don't actually want to go into a sprite, but Yeah, I think I want to do this. The load sprite atlas is like a helper. Yeah. Basically, fonts slash that font name. We try to load the sprite atlas. We can load that. We found it. Instantiate a copy. Remember it. And I guess we can go UI. Yeah, I think we can use the result variable. So result equals instantiate like that. I guess dot game object, right? Font obj. And this can just be start out null. I don't actually, it's fine. It will be assigned to null if this returns false. Result.atlas is the atlas. And we'll do more to like get the symbols and everything out, right? Get symbols. But what we can do is instead of this stuff up here, we're going to delete that again. We're not going to make a copy of that for no reason. From the atlas. Basically, any additional sprites in the atlas we'll set up. But let's just do this for now. And maybe instead we'll say card so we can see that it's different. And right, so we copy the font, assign it to that sprite atlas, and then finally remember it. Loaded fonts. And even if it's null, basically it'll remember that it was null and it will be a quick return. It won't have to try to load it every time. All right, I think that is going to work. So if we go in and look at mod content, what's going to happen first is it's going to be like there is no such file, right? So show cards, and when I go to look at one, I can probably add some logging, I guess. It's obviously not going to do anything. I guess I should find something that says card. Yeah, this says card. But in theory, that should be looking for it. Let's add looking for font. Oops, looking for mod font. I just want to make sure that this is actually being called. And I guess, I think it should only happen when I go to pull up a full card, right? Yeah, looking for mod font / full card body. And all right, there's a warning, could not find it. But it doesn't look again, like it only looks the once. Which it actually doesn't do for other things, and maybe it should. It doesn't remember that that's not there. So, all right, so we just need to make an atlas with the right thing. So our full card title for full card body font is looking for this sprite card bodies _full, which comes from places. So let's go to our original place, resources. Let's make a folder here called fonts and full card body, and under source images is where the fonts are, I think. Card bodies _full. And let's get some icon. Sure, or whatever icon. And then if I put, I'll just hard code it, but then we can say like if you use the, squiggle whatever, or whatever. So we want to run texture packer. And there's a new version. Let's add this folder. And save. Publish. Fonts. Full card body. Okay. And then in our mods folder, put that in. And it should, that's what it's trying to load, right? And it's looking for card bodies _full, whatever. I don't know if the .png is going to be a problem. We'll see. And maybe we'll throw in another log, which is found it. And here we'll say whatever. Let's try it. So it's loading these on demand. So we need to go and pull up a card every time. I guess I could probably start in this screen. Maybe actually, I think the mod manager needs to have that thing assigned, right? So it might not work. And actually I want to go to the baddies and their character card. And hey, destroy one ongoing. Bloop. That just worked. Found it. Birds. Little birds outside. Look at that. Custom icons in there. So what I want ideally this to do is just match your sprite name automatically. Add sprites from the atlas as symbols in the font. So atlas.sprites, right? Yeah. Get list of sprites. Better list. For each. Come on. Autocorrect. That was not helpful. Sprite.name. Sprite.name. And sprite. I just want to like see what I'm getting here. Oh, power flicker didn't quite get me. Starlings outside. So we can open up any card. Card buddies underscore full and whatever. Nice. Okay. So this what we're gonna look for is like this. Whatever. So you can put the curly braces around it, and as long as it matches up, it'll match up. And we can avoid if sprite font. Result sprite. Yeah. Like we don't need to include the one that is the same name as the font. Recursion. So then we go here and pull up a card. Yeah, so we ignore the other one. And then if I have squiggle whatever, it gets replaced. Nice. And the other stuff, like with the squiggles, we replace it on our own. So you won't be able to use like reserved words or whatever, but I think that's still probably fine to use the squiggles. I'll just leave these logs in maybe for debugging for now. But yeah, that's actually working, right? Like, that's totally working now. I don't know that I need to do anything else. Well, I mean, that's one kind of font usage. So I think what we want to do is actually refactor this into, if we want to support more fonts, we'll want to refactor it a little bit. But that's a good start. That's supporting in-text things. So basically what I need to do is make available these images for the fonts, so full card bodies and just whatever other fonts that we provide, so that you can make your own. I guess in theory you could also change the card font to anything as long as the font characters were at the exact same size. That would probably be really difficult to do, but you could do it if you really wanted to. Or you could change what these icons look like on your own card if you wanted to. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with that. So I'm going to commit that, I think, which is basically, yeah, we don't need this anymore. Well, I might for guys later. Yeah, we basically added that method here and this cache, and we're checking this, and that's it. This was just, oh yeah, that actually is a change. I want to assign that. Seems like much less work than I thought it was going to be, but I guess I didn't really have the idea of how it could work until today properly. So let's commit these things and say support loading custom font atlas from mods for card body text. Maybe what I'll do is we can get this published out so people can try it, and if it works in a way that people are happy with, we can then extend it to the other fonts, right? There's these other fonts that would potentially need to be supported as well. Yeah, I wonder, I guess it doesn't need to be, these could all be just one atlas, right? As long as things are relatively similar to each other. Let's just take a quick look here in terms of like, one of the things is like the icons, there's only one symbol here, right? So if the icon sizes don't match up, then it will look weird. So maybe there's like, we need 2 or something like that. Let me see. Do I have? Yeah, I guess I want to go into assets. Sentinels. Source images. Sentinels, source images, right? Yeah. Fonts. Like, what if I grab all the fonts that we might need? Red state, blue state. 3 versions. Right, those all have icons in them. Praetorium doesn't. Just look at these, see if they have icons in them. This one does. Keywords full and keywords small. I think these are the 2 that's not going to match up. Card titles doesn't. Crash landing doesn't. That's special safe house font anyways. HUD. Praetorium, target HP, yeah, so if I go back to texture packer, they are too big. How big are these? These are actually too big to all fit in one. So we go up to 4096. Yeah, but you can see how this icon doesn't match, like it doesn't match to the other fonts, right? So I think in order to make sure that I wonder what are the different sizes here, because we could maybe just have like small, medium, and large or something like that. So we go like small and large. Like what, I can just look at the like, this one seems large. These red state, blue states are large. And keywords full. Like that one's clearly bigger. Keyword small and card body full is actually pretty similar, but they're not exactly the same, right? I guess they're pretty similar. Whereas this one's more medium-sized, I think. Card keywords full. Like if I put that just out of here. These sprites where did I publish that to? Here. Like those are fairly similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're fairly similar. And we like make a new. For large, yeah, like these all are sort of comparable. I think. So yeah, I think we end up, and then we can make another new one, which is small. Oh, and there's nothing. Well, these were medium and these were small, right? Put that in there. So that's 520. And this is, yeah. These are actually smaller text than, yeah, full card keywords is a bigger size font. So this one's actually, if we rename this, sure, we'll save this as medium. And save this as large. That one is small. And we'll just like update the, oh, I guess, yeah, it's just using like local folder, relative path. So that seems like those are going to map. This one is obviously on its own, but you can see it's large. Is that actually larger than the large? Maybe that's larger than the large. What if I put that file in this? Does it? Yeah, it's honestly pretty similar, right? To these. So we actually don't need, unless it's too big. Those are basically, so we have like large and small. In terms of like, I mean, the icons here are bigger. I don't know. We could do it one per font, but that seems unnecessary amount of extra work. Potentially, right? Because if you look at like the Ennead icon sizes are notably different between these. That's why I think this potentially goes to a different place. So then this is basically normal card text, full card keywords, and card keywords slash full card text organization. Yeah, I think this other one goes to its own. And in terms of like, that's kind of in terms of icon sizes, right? Not in terms of the font sizes. Does that make sense? In this one, like if we just copy these, if we put that one in here and you use these size of icons, they would be too big. Oh, but these icons are, all the icons are different. I don't know. I might have to think about how to organize these a little bit more. Obviously, for the most control, you want to be able to have a different atlas for each font. So you can say like, so I think, okay, so let's just keep thinking about it. So, sure. This really is regular text. Oh, yeah, okay, stop. Get rid of this. So instead of large, medium, whatever, let's call this one, I don't want to use the word full. Like interface text or UI text. This is like text used for the UI. And the fonts are all sort of related. So like interface, how about? And these ones have a, you know, their size goes together, and I think whatever icon you use, like they're not exactly the same. These ones are not exactly the same. So we could again separate them out potentially, but they're pretty close. And then this is full card keywords specifically. And this is, yeah, and actually the card keyword small is actually separate because it's on a different color of, so you need to have a different treatment of your icons. So we're going to call this small card keywords. And it is a separate, it's separate. I think it has to be separate. And this is back to full card body because it's the only thing in there now. So I've come back around, but in a way I think that makes sense. Because there are reasons why different things are handled differently. So I want, this could be two atlases, one for the button titles and one for like red state, blue state. This is just basically bold, italic, and regular. They can be all in one, and I think that makes sense. But let's split these up too. So and then we can just match. So yeah, so we'll make sure to match what we have in here. Full card body, full card keywords, button general, and red state, blue state is the actual font. So button general is that outlined font that's used on buttons. And this is red state, blue state. And it doesn't have the button labels font in there anymore. So yeah, so basically we end up with 5 potential atlases to make. But if you don't care about the other things, like maybe you don't need keywords icons, then you don't need to include them, or you don't need general text for your icons, then don't do it. So yeah, so I think that is probably the way to go here. So yeah, so I think we still go with the idea of this. And so I'm going to commit this. And so I think the next step is to expand it to load any of these 5. And that'll be a little bit more. So maybe we'll continue that next week, but I can definitely get this written up at least on a Trello card or something. And I will add a checklist to support loading full card body, RSBS, button general, full card keywords, and small card keywords. So that part is working. And yeah, just because I think each font is different enough that the icons, the way we've done the icons baked in is that they can be different, so we can put them all together in one atlas, but the way the symbol thing works is you can't do that. So I think that's a reasonable compromise here. And with Texture Packer, it's pretty easy to manage, right? It's not too outrageous. And we don't end up with a giant atlas. So yeah, that's pretty good. So I think I'll see if I can get this put out on a rough basis. Well, maybe. We'll see if it makes sense. I can mention it in the Discord and see what people think about it, and go from there. Whether we get that a little early, or we wait to finish up the rest of it. But basically, the rest of it is going to be expanding this stuff to support more font names and finding the places where we need to inject this code and do that for the different cases. So that seems good. I think I might call it for the day, though, because it is nice out and I want to go for a walk while it's still nice. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, today to Sentinels Workshop Development. Sorry for the glitch in the middle where I was showing the end card for a while, but hopefully that won't happen again. I will see you all next time. Have a good day and a good weekend. OBS, come back.